Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Eggman's Breakdown Show. And of course, I am AKI, along here with Eggman. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called the Eggman Breakdown Show. You got that right. and, uh, well, here we are again on the brink of the ASIF this time around, where the fans get interactive. And I personally can't wait to see what's going to unfold. And here's how things are going to run. We're going to go through all the match types. Eggman's going to give his prediction of what might be voted. He's also going to give his analysis of what might be the best thing to vote for. He's not going to be too biased, though, I hope. But he's going to basically give you a better angle at what you might get from each result. Apart from the World Championship, because there could be a trillion results for that thing. So we'll try and get our way around that, but that'll be on the final part of this show. We're planning to have 4 parts, two matches for each show to preview. We're going to kick things, and then on the final part, I've said on my Twitter and other things that we are going to release the actual final date when all the votes will be no mass. You won't be able to send in any more. But we'll release that date to you on part 4. But in the meantime, in part 1, let's cover we're going to cover Smashdown first. So let's kick things right off with the Hardcore Championship match, Eggman. Well, you were going to say we were going to give my analysis of every single thing to be voted in for here, but I don't think I can cover 10 people. But I can cover a large amount. So let's get going, shall we? Let's indeed. So, Nightmare, of course, as we know, is the very dominant champion. He definitely is. No doubt about that. 2-time hardcore champion. So, he's been to the dance more times than once. But still, it's not the greatest record, but considering that we've only had 1 year, or 1 full, season, and yeah, that is quite impressive. And those 2 title reigns have come quite recently. And he's been very physical and very dominant and very cocky with that championship. But as for people that you could vote in, I would personally pick you. How did I know you were going to say that right off the bat? I think the majority want me in, but I can't guarantee anything. I mean, this is coming from me myself. I can't guarantee everything. I know I can use weapons and everything, but I'm facing Nightmare here, and I can't even beat, like, Cyrus and his frickin' robot. Yeah, but that's his frickin' robot, which is frickin' yours. Yes, we like that word, don't we? Well, frickin'. Yep, that's what we're saying it quite a lot. But who are the strongest people that people should start voting for that you feel could actually have an effect and actually because obviously people want to see a title change because we want to give less power to the anti-heroes, and of course Nightmare is a part of the anti-heroes, and currently they have all the gold. So it'd be really good now. This is our backlash for the fans. It's time for the fans to try and grab those titles away, if not give them to the Freedom Movement, because there's 2 Freedom Movement members in there, being Bomberman and Wario, of course. So you might want to vote for them. They're pretty hardcore. And of course, it's hardcore rules. Anything goes. One of them could interfere, and it'd be like a handicap match almost if you think about it on that level. So that's what we could possibly get if one of those 2 were voted in. See, this is really cool having a breakdown show on a show like this, because we could probably almost spoil the show for you to say this is what might happen if you voted for this. But I'm not going to guarantee anything because anything can happen. But whatever is done. But hardcore rules could definitely favor a challenger, in this instance being Bomberman or Wario, because the other guy could come in and it'd be a handicap match. And remember, anyone can score the pin at the end of the day, regardless of who comes in or out. So Nightmare could be in a world of trouble if those 2 end up teaming up. And of course, the other challenger, and I'm got in favor here, is other than you, is Grim. Because Grim has he obviously previous hardcore champion. He's suffered a loss, so obviously he's going to win it back. So he's going to be a very determined Grim Reaper, I dare say, if he gets in. And who knows, Billy might invade, but he's not going to do anything. So you're going to have a handicap on Grim if you do that, but he probably won't do that because he's smart. He wants this hardcore title back, and he had a quite comfortable long run with it, but he wants it back really bad. So that's just if the fans want him to have another title reign with this hardcore title, then they vote him in. If they don't, then they vote for whoever else. We want, as you said, we want the anti-heroes to lose power. I don't personally want the anti-heroes to lose power because I reckon they rule. But that's me, being in character. And but yeah, if you want a solid victory, then I would vote for Bomberman or Wario, and then the Freedom Movement would get the hardcore title, and I guarantee that if you vote for those two in. So that's my prediction, and that's who I'm telling you to vote for. So vote for them, or Grim, but that's only if you want him to give him another run. Wario had a run previously, so he's hardcore. Bomberman hasn't actually had a run yet. But like I said, it doesn't matter which one of those two you vote in, because probably both of those will get involved. No doubt about it. And of course, we don't want to vote for any of the anti-heroes. Of course. So, okay, that's pretty much a fair, decent analogy of that. Yeah, so, yeah, go for it. So what's next? Next? Let's rush along. Sorry. Ooh, trying to keep me burping. I've just drunk some Dr. Pepper. Fell man. I know, I'm sorry. Let's move on to the highly anticipated, even though it's just been previously announced, although there is a lot on the line here, depending on what gets voted on for, is the Bart versus Lisa match. Of course, as we know, this match might be a bit one-sided when it comes to Lisa's terms, because Bart is very dominant, but and has been a world champion and a YouTube champion. But, of course, Homer softened him up a bit, and that was a very good match to get him weakened down, because Homer actually did win that match, and Lisa made sure the match stayed for as long as it possible that she possibly could before Homer got the win, and he wasn't exactly trying to win the match. Yeah, that's what I'd like to bring to the table. Bart is I would say, for the first time ever, is at a disadvantage. I've always favored Bart in every match that he's gone to up to this point. But right now, I draw the line. He might not be 100% going into this match. Although, it depends on what the fans vote for. He said he would be very motivated if he got the opportunity to fire Lisa. And of course, that is one of the options. So I don't think the fans want to actually go for that. What they want to go for is something that isn't going to motivate Bart too much. So maybe they don't want to make him have the stipulation of being fired, because that would still motivate him, because he wants to stay here, that's for sure, and still be dominant. So if he has the premise of being fired, he can still beat Lisa. It's all depending on what you vote for. It depends on what's going to happen here. Of course, the other humiliating things, I think the best thing for Bart, for not too much of a strain, is to bring him into the Freedom Movement. That's giving him another chance. They have offered to give him another chance, so vote for that. Wearing a dress would be rather humorous, but again, Bart might not be that determined to be doing something like that, and that's for as long as Lisa wants, because that's her pick. I think some knucklehead on the forum asked the question for the Ask the Roster, but I could answer it right now for you that Lisa's pick for that match is him wearing a dress. And well, if you want to vote for it, vote for it. But yeah, so that's what you want to go for on that level. Is the go to the Freedom Movement. That's what I would pick. Don't want to put too much strain on Bart. Don't want to give him encouragement, and all the same, don't want to give him a hindrance. But the Freedom Movement is the most comfortable decision if you want Bart to not be saying, "Yeah, I don't mind doing that." And still, he'd suffer a loss to Lisa, but then again, he's not at 100%. Yeah, it just depends on how well that engine can churn throughout the match. I think the longer it goes, the more advantage it will go to Lisa. Yeah, I agree with that. The longer the match goes, Bart's going to have that wear and tear in him already. And if it extends with him either beating her up or her beating him up, heaven forfend, then that's what could happen. So, yeah, I say freedom movement, Bart. He needs to go to the freedom movement. He needs a new fresh start because he's in a mess right now. He needs a new fresh start, and that's what he needs. So what about Lisa then? You didn't say we want the fired option because that would give Bart motivation. But what else would anything else give Bart motivation? Well, let's have a look at the options here. I mean, we got to go into the anti-heroes for punishment. I don't know how Bart feels about the freedom movement and the anti-heroes whole thing. He's still a bit separate from all that. Of course, he might not be after this match. He might be going to the freedom movement. But that's only if they vote for it. But I suggest that they do. So that's the case of if they're going to listen to me or not. But seriously, this is like for Lisa. I'd honestly say come to Raw. Come to my home, baby. I'm not saying that as in, yeah, I'm going to do something bad to her, because let's face it, I'm not in charge of the women's division on Raw. That's Connor's job. So, yeah. So Lisa can go under her wing or whatever and be in the women's division and perhaps be a future women's championship champion after that. She can't be an actual belt. I just pointed that out. Yeah, made a little funny there. But yeah, that's what you want to go for. For Lisa, I say go to Raw. I say Bart. Who knows? This match could be a draw. These two could beat each other up so badly that they might not, because all the rules are at play in this match. I mean, they could get counted out because they might have so much rage built up in them that they want one person to do the other that they might not they just might forget about the stipulation and might just go outside the ring and batter the crap out of each other. That's another possibility. There are a lot of possibilities that can happen with so few options. It's unbelievable. But that's the ramifications of this match, and it's huge. But they're going to be very motivated if they find out they might be fired as a result of a loss. So, yeah, but don't vote for that. If anything, don't vote for that. That'll give them motivation, and then they probably won't lose. So, Lisa to Raw, excuse me, and Bart to Freedom Movement. That's my picks. That's your picks for a decent match, for a wicked match, I might add. Otherwise, it all might be one-sided, but that's not my option. That's the fans. Right? Yeah, it certainly is, and I think we're going to call it cuts there for this part one. We've been rolling on for quite some time, but we've got some really good analogies for the first two. I'm looking forward to the rest. Good, because I'm going to get some 5-star class stuff here. And also, speaking of 5-star class stuff, I think I want to say something before we close off here. I certainly do. We've got some special guests to come. I believe Manic is going to be hitting the scene in our next part, and then in part 3, we're going to have Shadow in the studio with us, and Amy is going to be on the line on the phone. On the phone. That kind of line. I'm not talking about at stake here or anything. She's on the phone. And Manic is going to come into the studio and talk about the YouTube Championship match. On that part, we'll also be talking about the very controversial Women's Championship match. So you definitely want to tune in for part 2. And so we will see you there with Manic. Yes. Woohoo.